What is up? 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 Grocknation. Welcome back. Welcome back this evening for a brisk autumn walk with Archie, of course, in the most dangerous city in North America. Well, Canada, actually not all of North America, but this is the most dangerous city in all of Canada. Thompson, Manitoba. Nice little creek here. It seems to be raining pretty hard today. For this walk I decided to take with Archie. This actually is in one of the nicer areas of Thompson. We're going to be discussing Thompson in general and just basically give you guys maybe a little life update on what's going on with old Grock these days. I'll do this nice, brisk, rainy walk. I hope you guys like this ambient sound. It was so relaxing to make, and it was such a relaxing walk. Once again, guys, if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up, and if you're new to the channel and you like this kind of ASMR, we do have a walk about ASMR videos in this channel, so make sure to hit that subscribe button. So yeah, we are in Thompson, Manitoba this evening. This is the Millennium Trail that actually surrounds the city of Thompson. And this area I'm at is near the Brentwood River along the Westwood area, the Westwood neighborhood of Thompson. I love going for walks here. In the autumn, in the fall, there's no mosquitoes. It's usually nice rain just like this. Put a rain jacket on and take Archie out. He just loves it. This city is notorious for the most violent crimes per capita in all of Canada. Anyone that pays attention to those lists knows it's up there. That's always number one. Number two is like Prince George and Selkirk, which is also in Manitoba, by the way. Funny thing is that's pretty much where we're moving when I retire, so I'm going from one dangerous city to another. North Battleford, I know, was on there as well. And Winnipeg. The city of Winnipeg was notorious for years as being the murder capital of Canada, but we're going to discuss that a little bit here during this nice walk. Well, this good boy goes for a nice little walk. In front of us, this is just his pattern of walking. He loves to walk ahead of me. And I love walking him here, especially on cool days. I don't need a leash, so no one's going to be on the trail. So yeah, these cities, Winnipeg, for example, as well as Thompson, that have these dangerous, and I'm sure Prince George, I have never been there. In North Battleford, I've never stayed there, just passed through there most of my life. They're dangerous, yes, but at the same time, it's one of those situations where they're dangerous, like in a certain part of town. I can't believe these leaves are turning orange already. That's crazy. I noticed that today. It's kind of depressing. You know, let's go for a little walk down to the river just to show you guys the Brentwood River while we're at it. But yeah, like 90% of the crimes in Thompson, for example, take place in an area known as Eastwood, or the East Side, as the little gangsters like to say. It's unfortunately an area where there's low income, and yeah, a lot of gang activity happens up there. And I'd say 90 to 95% of the violent crimes that happen in Thompson either happen or originate from there. So, you know, for new people, I always tell them, people like to quad down here, but these are quad trails. You know, just avoid that area of Thompson and you'll be absolutely fine. I've never had any issues, but again, I've never gone and hung around around there. I actually lived there when I first moved here, believe it or not. So right here, I'm trying not to talk for the video's sake. And I'm waving my head at him, shaking my head. I'm trying to show you guys the Brentwood Bridge, but we're too far away. I'm shaking my head, trying to get him not to go in the water, because we gotta get back in the truck afterwards. Right across the lake there's trails for cross-country skiing. Let's head back. But as I was saying, I did actually live there. When I first moved to Thompson, I was completely unaware of, the thing. He's got prickles in his eye. I had to pull up when I got home. I was unaware of the danger I was in living in that area. But yeah, I had my cousin here for the summer for my, well, not the summer, but a weekend for my wedding this summer. And my sister for Christmas came up as well. Now that I have this cabin, I like to entertain. And I informed them both that both their stays they had, I drove them both around Eastwood, and I told them both on both separate visits that by the time they go home, there will be a violent crime that will be committed in this area. Someone will either be killed, raped, or severely beaten. And the day my sister left, there was a murder. And the day my sister got here, there was a murder at one of the bars. A contractor died, and then the day she left, there was another murder. My cousin Joey, the day after he left, there was a stabbing. Teenage kids stab people in that area with machetes, believe it or not. This is something you guys can Google. So yeah, it is. That area is definitely dangerous. And, that's out at night. So again, I would say, like it is in probably most areas, I would not. I can't say that because I lived in the Bronx and New York for a week, and I was walking home at midnight like an idiot because we were out all day in Manhattan. I was about to say I wouldn't walk through a Bronx or the Brooklyn and New York, past midnight either. In a bad part of those boroughs, because I'm sure there's good parts. Obviously in the Bronx there are good parts, but you're just asking for trouble then. So it's the same way in Eastwood here. Just avoid it. Avoid it, especially in the evenings. If you're gonna go for a walk, just don't go to that area. In general, I don't think I've walked up there in about 10 years. I took my German Shepherd for a walk up there the last time, and so much violence has happened, and those machete kids have been coming out over the last 10 years too. It's fucked up. It's almost like the bottle kids from Trailer Park Boys, but it's the machetes and they're attacking people. It's really, really fucked, and it's teenagers, like. But yeah, so in terms of this town being the most dangerous town in North America, I always say take it with a grain of salt, and it's only as dangerous as you make it, I guess you could say. And I'm sure all those other places that are listed are the same way as well. Just keep in mind and stay safe. Because I think I can count one time in my entire life since I've lived here, and I've been here for 20 years now. One time where, like, a person not from that area or affiliated with, gang activity or anything like that was actually killed by one of them. It happened at a car wash about 10 years ago. They asked somebody walking home for a smoke, and he didn't have one, and they stabbed him, and he died. So I can't think of anything else on the top of my head. Obviously, like any town, he's looking at squirrels. Squirrels love fucking with him. Yeah, he's chasing one now. He never catches them. Every town has, their murders and their unsolved murder mysteries, and this town's no different. But in terms of, people getting offed left and right here, it doesn't happen. It happens in that area. Because that area is a very low-income housing area. Unfortunately, it's just the way it is. Another big thing that's very unappealing about this place. I might as well give you guys a good rundown of this town while we're on this nice walk. I hope you guys are enjoying this, because I certainly did. This town's got a really bad homeless want to say luckily, because it's unfortunate still, but luckily, it hasn't been car wrecks or murders or anything. It's been homeless people that have succumbed to their lifestyle, unfortunately. And what that is the last one I seen, the second last one I seen was the only one that I guess wasn't frozen. I'm just making sure he's not eating mushrooms. First one I seen, I was 19 years old, working security in Eastwood. Not a bad area in the springtime. My partner from the apartments across the street, an apartment complex called Highland Tower. If you guys Google Thompson right now, you'll see a massive wolf painting on the side of a building. That is Highland Tower. Thompson's big thing is wolves. Most wolves per capita or something. I think I've seen 5 wolves my whole life here, but he called me over. I was working the apartments across the street from him called Ashbury Place, which is where I lived at the time because I just moved here. I was in high school. I started working there, from high school in the year after. And I went over there and I went to his office, which is just an apartment suite on the main floor. He wasn't there, so I was radioing for him. He told me to come outside. So I came outside or went outside. We're using the human vocabulary correctly. He was fending off some little kids that were bothering a dead body. And it was a homeless person that was still half frozen into the ground because I think it was April. End of April, middle of April. And I'll never forget, the haunting look on that homeless man's face. We're getting kind of morbid here for an ASMR video. Bear with me, you guys. There used to be a bridge right there I'm pointing out. But it collapsed. A bridge over that creek we just passed. That homeless guy was in a fetal position. And he had his mouth open. And his eyeballs were gone. It was covered in snow. Snow was packed into his eye sockets, it was packed into his nostrils, and it was packed into his mouth and his ears. And it looked like he was screaming almost, but I think it was just the snow. He was under the snow the whole winter. He passed out and froze. The following spring, almost the exact same spot, just down the hill next to the road known as the 70 stretch, I see my second dead body, which is another homeless man that was again under the snow. And I've seen 5 dead bodies, sorry. Just, that's so fucked up, isn't it? Most people, if they're lucky enough, go their whole lives outside of a funeral not seeing a dead body. But, let's go through my dead body history. So the third one would have been the kid stabbed. There was a kid stabbed behind A&W between there's a Greek restaurant called The Hub and a hotel called the Thompson Inn, and there's an alleyway that walks between them. The homeless shelter's there as well. And I was eating in the lineup, the drive-through lineup at A&W, and I was trying to order. And as I was in line, police had already just started showing up as I got there. They taped off the entire drive-through, including me inside there, and then I had to get questioned. And I looked over when I finally got closer, and I could see there was a kid, probably about 16, 17, laying on his back, and they were covering him up when I got there. He had a white shirt, and there was blood all over the place. He'd been stabbed. In a paper the next day, it said it was a gang thing. I was laughing because I called my boss, and my boss was actually training another boss, and they were joking that I was just lying to get out of work. Until they seen the paper the next day, and you weren't lying. I'm like, no, they questioned me. I made sure I just got there, and I didn't know anything or see anything, so. Yeah, that was my third one. My fourth one actually was last November. or last September, October, I was driving out of Subway, and as I was driving away, I looked over and I seen a homeless person laying on his back, like arms out, legs out, and I assumed that he had passed out. And I looked at the temperature before I decided to stop, and it was only +2 or something, so he wasn't gonna freeze. The police will come and get him because obviously he's intoxicated. And I drove to work, and the next day, my cross shift, a guy called Chris told me that he went to Subway for lunch after, and he showed me the picture. It was all taped off, and there was a guy covered in a blanket. He made a snap of it. And I'm like, what the hell? That's the guy. So he was dead then. I was like, yeah, he must have been dead because, he's got the blanket on him now. And I was like, oh my god, I thought he was passed out. He was probably dead when I seen him. I tell myself now, I don't think there was anything I could have done. I think he probably passed out and smacked his head, I'm guessing. Okay, my 5th dead body was actually this March, or this May. Oh, sorry, March or April. And again, it was a frozen one. And he was frozen just before the 70 stretch behind, we have a CBC radio building. They had it all taped off, and I could see his fluorescent, winter jacket or something. And, they had it all taped off, and he was laying there, so. Yeah, I've seen 5 dead bodies living here in my life, and I'm sure I'll see more in the next, I'm here for another 13 years minimum, so. That's just life here. And the homeless population here, like I said, it's a problem. My cousin Joy was here this weekend or this summer for my wedding. And I took him to the Walmart to show him how it is. And there was 40 homeless people in front of the Walmart doors. It literally sometimes looks like you're going into a big homeless shelter. It's unbelievable. Oh, he sees another squirrel. I'm just gonna place this video real quick because I had to do 2. I had to do 2 videos to upload it through my Dropbox. I was worried, this would be, without a steady cam or a chest cam, it would be kind of wobbly, but it's not too bad. But yeah, he's seen all these homeless people, and he told me afterwards, he goes, you live a different life here, I'm like, I know, you don't see that anywhere else, where they completely overtake a Walmart entrance, and the security and the staff is just overwhelmed, so they just allow them to loiter there, essentially. This little stump here used to be a tree, and I was going to talk about this later, but I used to do spray intervals here, and I used to cut in between that on the way back. He's chasing the squirrel again. I used to cut in between that to cut off 3 seconds on my workout, and I remember I fell once and scraped my knee. I had to limp back. It was like karma telling me not to be lazy. But yeah, they just overwhelm them and they just loiter. And unfortunately, again, I've talked about this before. It's exclusively a Native American population. And I've talked about this, why, Native Americans, have such bad substance issues, and how it goes back to residential schooling. If you're unaware, I've talked about this before, and how, that substance and that abuse gets passed down by generations, and so what happens is they get, at the end of the month, they all flood into Thompson, these reserves. And all of these homeless people know these are all cousins and friends and relatives. I should say, Thompson, Manitoba, we are the hub of the north. We are the last outpost before the literal wilderness of these placid, remote reserves. We have the most reserves surrounding us per capita in Canada. True off-the-grid reserves. A ton of them. Some of them are fly in, fly out. And these reserves, and this is part of the problem, these reserves are dry reserves. What that means is they don't allow alcohol on them. And so, when people get caught, because obviously alcohol goes underground like anything else that's legal somewhere, they get kicked off these reserves. You know, they usually get like sentences, like you're kicked out for a year, or if you're a multiple offender forever. And they send them to Thompson because it's the hub, it's the closest, you know, civilization outside of the reserves. They either fly them there if it's a fly-in reserve, or they, you know, they bus them or cap them in, drop them off here. And so they go on the streets and, yeah, they just, you know, become a hindrance to society. You know, they loiter and everything else. So it's unfortunate, but that's just what happens. And as I said, at the end of the month, when child tax and everything happens, you know, they all flood into the city and they get their supplies and everything for the month. And the main place everyone goes is Walmart. And so at the end of the month, it's just crazy. There's like 40 or 50 of them out front, you know, loitering from their friends and relatives, and it just gets, it's overwhelming. But they're not dangerous, I will say. They are not dangerous. They are not like normal homeless people. Normal homeless people you'll find in any given city it's a 50-50. They're either someone that's genuinely down on their luck, trying to get back to their feet, and or they are addicts to some kind of substance, whether it be drugs or alcohol. And it's always the latter in Thompson. It's only the latter. And our homeless people are not drunk off of just alcohol. They are drunk off of Listerine and hairspray, and you know, they in their camps they have, or outside of town, they boil hand sanitizer and they extract the alcohol out of it with salt. Like, these guys are chemists, for God's sake. All certain cooking oils, anything. So after a while, they lose the ability to speak. It seems like, I always say, people say it's a joke. Everyone says they're like zombies, and it's fucking sad, but they kind of are. You know, like I said, some of them don't speak anymore, but they're not dangerous. You know, they're always, you know, they're weakened and starving pretty much. So, but this trail, you know, I want to talk about this trail we're on. When I was living with a guy who sadly is passing away of cancer as we speak, just back there in Westwood, I used to come and run sprint intervals on this trail when I was training MMA. And the trail we're on now, I would sprint all the way up it. Sprint intervals, 30 seconds running, 20 seconds walking. And I would do that all the way there, and then I would jog an interval back. It would be such an amazing workout. I'm not sure what this is. There's the street. They're building something here. It was such an amazing workout, and in the summer of 2007, I actually got let go of my security job. While the guy I was living with was in Japan, so I was watching his house. And as I was debating on what I was going to do with my life as I was 20, and I decided I was going to move back to Saskatchewan. There's another nice little creek. It sounds so relaxing. I decided I was going to move back to Saskatchewan and just, you know, meet up with my family. I hadn't seen in years at that point, and they would have welcomed me with open arms, so I figured I would spend the month keeping this guy's house. And I was under a lot of stress. I was still teaching classes as well. I was doing it for free, mixed martial arts classes. And in the evenings, whether I was teaching classes or not, I would actually run this trail every single day. Either straight running or sprint intervals. So I know every inch of this trail. And this is a 12-kilometer trail, but I only use this one, like 5-kilometer stretch. There's a little hill about 100 yards from the parking lot back there at the very beginning, and that's where I would do my walk cool down after this workout. But this trail means a lot to me. This little section anyway. A lot of good memories. You know, I didn't know what I was going to do with my life. And every time I was done my run, I would go back to the house. And I would have a shower. And I would finish the shower off by putting the water on full blast hot. And laying down in the tub and putting a warm rag over my face and just trying to relax like I have warm raindrops falling on me. I always think about that. Get some fish flies or something there. because I was more than happy to just go and live in Saskatchewan and find a job there. But at the same time, it was kind of like, I was depressed. Obviously, I was jobless. My friends who I made from work, I wasn't going to see again, so I always think of this trail when I think of stuff like that. So yeah, obviously that didn't happen. That was almost 20 years ago now. While I was laid off, or let go. I think that says penis on there. I forgot entirely to mention to you guys, we just walked past the condom back by that bench. Fittingly enough, I didn't see it on camera, I seen it on the walk back. I told the guy that, I was keeping the house on, that I'd lost my, security job, and, his best friend was the human resources guy at the mine here, who had actually asked me to work at the mine, shit at high school, because the refinery manager wanted me there because I was friends with his daughter. I talked about this before. So as soon as he mentioned that, I called that guy, and it lined up everything else, and 2 weeks later I was working in the most desired job in Thompson, the reason people moved to Thompson, and it changed my life. And I'm living the life I'm living right now because of it, so, everything happens for a reason, and I've talked about this before, I just feel like I've had a charmed life, and I think it's people with charmed lives, if you ever talk to them, for the most part, something terrible has happened in their lives. And it's almost like this terrible thing's happened, so we're going to cut you a little break here and there, and I truly believe, I'm one of those people. Based on my, my shitty hindrance I got to my life. So we're coming up to this bridge, and I always remember this is the 3/4 way. There's 2 more hills, and then that's when I jog interval back. But I think we're gonna just relax at this bridge here before I call her quits for you guys. Again, a nice little creek right in there. He's trying to figure out how to get down here. He wants to drink the water. Yeah, this bridge is in pretty rough shape. It's actually pretty soft when I'm stepping on it. I'm not sure how much longer it'll be here, but he ran all the way through and got up around. I just didn't even know he was there, and there he is. Nice relaxing water flow here. Yeah, this town, like I said, dangerous. Dangerous, but I was just pointing out there's 2 more hills. But you know what, the nature here in the summers are absolutely beautiful. We have long, horrible winters, horrible cold winters. But these, this looks like it's been broken off recently. But our summers are gorgeous, and especially with, the summer I had out of my cabin. I felt like summer went on forever. I'm so glad and happy to have that property and be able to enjoy my summers here to my fullest extent. So, yeah. Oh, there's a bike here. No bullshit. There's a rock up there. I thought it was a body. I'm not even kidding you guys. Oh my god. But no, it's just a rock. I thought someone was laying there. But with that, guys, that's gonna be it for this video. Have a great day, great night, whatever it may be. Peace out. Bye-bye. Where's this boy at? What are you up to there, boy? Alright, guys, take it easy. Bye-bye.